Hello guys, DJ Bagpuss here and welcome to my 2018 World Cup predictions. Oh yes, it is World Cup time. World Cup content starts on my YouTube channel because the World Cup is edging closer upon ever closer. The 14th of June 2018 is when the World Cup gets underway. From June the 14th to July the 15th, the World Cup takes centre stage and it is literally the biggest club competition in the world, really. Kind of, from an international club level, it's bigger than the Champions League. It's kind of bigger than any kind of club competition, right? I kind of struggled saying that word, didn't I? It's bigger than any other club competition, and the World Cup is the biggest, football event that can, hand and land itself on a stage, really. It's absolutely huge, and with the World Cup being just around the corner, and with this YouTube channel being so heavily centred on football at the moment, it is time to kickstart my World Cup content while giving you the first video, my 2018 World Cup predictions. Now, I just want to say, we have got a Premier League season review. I'm currently editing that, and that is going to be coming out in the next couple of days, so stay tuned for that. However, we have kind of already rounded off the Champions League, FA Cup, kind of all of the club competitions, and the World Cup is at the centre. And, even though from an England perspective, and this is just basically my, very, very quick thoughts and feelings in regards to the World Cup, from an England perspective, international football has not treated us very kindly in recent years, and that is kind of a genuine fact. In the World Cup 2014, 4 years ago, we got absolutely embarrassed in the World Cup. We didn't even make it out of our bloody group, and then in the Euro 2016, we got absolutely embarrassed in the knockout stages by Iceland. So, from an England's perspective, the World Cup isn't great, but from a kind of a neutral standpoint, sitting down on the sofa as a neutral, or going to the actual event in Russia or wherever you're going to spectate, and your eyes are going to register the World Cup. From a neutral point of view, it is an absolutely it's a gigantic spectacle, really, and it throws up all of the kind of the shock, surprises, moments of controversy, moments of pain, moments of peril, moments of euphoria, moments of absolute dismay and disheartenment. And it packs all of these different emotions and feelings into one simple solid month, and it's just great. Every single day having kind of there's football at every given moment for a month, and it is brilliant. So with that in mind, I'm going to give you my 2018 World Cup predictions. So what I'm going to do first and foremost is I'm going to be predicting out of all of the groups, so from Group A all the way down to Group H, I'm going to be predicting which two teams I feel are going to go to qualify into the knockout stages. Because obviously what happened is you have kind of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So you have 8 groups. 2 teams from each of those 8 groups then go into the knockout stages, and then it's kind of, a single elimination until we get our, 3rd place, our 2nd place, and then obviously ultimately our winners. So I'm going to be predicting which 2 teams, in my opinion, I feel are going to go through and going to qualify out of the group stages into the knockout stages. And then I'm also going to be answering the questions. I've just got it up on my computer now. So I'm also going to be giving my predictions on who do I think is going to finish in 3rd, who's going to be finishing as runners-up, who's going to overly win the World Cup, and also I'm going to be giving my prediction on where I think England are going to finish, the surprise team, and also who is going to get the golden ball. So with that in mind, let's get started, and let's start with Group A, because in Group A we have ourselves Egypt, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. So I'm just going to kind of give you quickly who I think is going to go through, and also briefly why I think those 2 teams are going to go through. So in Group A, we have Egypt, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay, as I said. I believe, and I mean, some of these groups are fairly self-explanatory, but the World Cup conjures up so many shocks and surprises that nobody can really make an accurate prediction. But where I'm looking right now, I'd say that Uruguay are going to go through, and also Egypt are going to go through. Those are kind of my 2 predictions, really. Uruguay, for one, obviously, they've got Luis Suarez up front, and, they normally do quite well in World Cup competitions. I think in the World Cup 2014, we were in Uruguay's group. We lost to Uruguay courtesy of Luis Suarez, and obviously they've had controversial moments with him as their front line, but, he's a fantastic striker, and, on his own, he can, send Uruguay to great things, and they're definitely going to get out of their group. And Egypt as well. Now, it kind of all depends on Mo Salah's fitness. If Mo Salah goes to the World Cup, and I'm pretty sure he is going to go to the World Cup, he's going to do bits for Egypt, really. If you don't have Mo Salah in that Egyptian team, then maybe, maybe not, and that is kind of controversial because I'm saying that, Russia, who are hosting the World Cup, are going to go out at the not going to get to the knockout stages. They're going to go out at the group stages. Is effectively what I'm saying. But I think Mo Salah's just going to tear. I think they're going to tear Russia apart. I think they're going to tear Saudi Arabia apart. And I think that Egypt-Uruguay game is going to be quite a fright for the encounter. It's going to be very high scoring. I think that group is going to have many high scoring games. And I just think the kind of what Mo Salah and his influence that he has on kind of not just when he plays for Liverpool, but for any team that he plays. I've already seen, bits of what he did in terms of getting Egypt to qualify for the World Cup in the kind of the qualification rounds of getting into qualifying for the World Cup group stages. He's already, made an instant impact, and he's already a huge hit. So I think if he can find his feet and find his fitness, more importantly, he's going to do absolute bits. So in Group A, I'm saying Egypt and Uruguay to go through. I'm saying that Russia, the hosts, are going to go out. Again, controversial. And I think Saudi Arabia are going to finish rock bottom. It's great that they're actually in the World Cup, but I can't see them getting any further out than the group stage, which is a commendable place. No one really expects them to do anything. Should they get into kind of the knockout stages, that would be very, very impressive from their standards. So that's Group A. So in Group B, we have Iran, Morocco, Portugal and Spain. And this, again, is quite an easy group to predict. Obviously, I think Portugal are going to go through as the winners and Spain in second. Now, Spain actually they've been quite disappointing over the last couple of World Cups. If I remember rightly, in the World Cup 2014, I believe they got beaten by Netherlands like 5-1. I think they were knocked out of the group stage in the last World Cup tournament. And obviously they've won the World Cup, in recent times, and they have got a fantastic side. Now they've got the likes of Morata. They've got up front. They've got so many Spanish acquisitions really. But obviously Portugal have got Cristiano Ronaldo, and it's very similar to kind of the Mohamed Salah influence. Mohamed Salah on his own can transform a game, and Cristiano Ronaldo has been doing that with Portugal. I mean, the reason why Portugal went all the way and won, Euro 2016 up against France was, one of the reasons because they had Cristiano Ronaldo, and, his big game influence and what he can do. He can win you a game on his own, and it's just kind of that staple and that simple moment where, he can take a game by the scruff and they can get you 3-4 goals in the blink of an eye. And I think, particularly against, Morocco and Iran. And, again, these are only, predictions. I could be entirely wrong. I'm going to do a video when I react to these predictions. So, I could get this very, very wrong. But, looking at the group tables and looking at it on first glance, I think a lot of you guys would agree with me that it would look like Portugal and Spain would go through. Whether Spain go through as group winners and Portugal, go into the knockouts as the runners-up, or it's the other way around, or vice versa, that remains to be seen. But you would say, and if you were kind of had a fairly decent football knowledge, you'd say that Portugal and Spain should get through Group B with no real major problems really. So that's Group B. In Group C, we have Australia, Denmark, France, and Peru. And again, Australia actually have done decent in recent times. They've had a couple of stories and they've wrote their names into the headlights. But I do think, firstly, definitely France will get out of the group. I think France have got an absolutely fabulous team. Giroud, Griezmann, Lacazette, and Mbappe. Their forward line is absolutely crazy. Benzema, Kante, Varane at the back, Koscielny as well. They've got so many world-class players that they are going to be a real force. Paul Pogba as well, pulling the strings with Kante in the midfield. So I think they're definitely going to go for as group winners. And I'm backing Denmark to join them really. I don't think Peru will get out of the group, and I was debating whether to go Australia or Denmark, and I'm kind of wavering going towards Denmark. Again, Denmark, you don't really expect anything from them. You don't expect great things from them. But I think they will get out of the group. But I kind of think that they'll probably get to like the last 16, the first kind of knockout round, and then fall through. And that in itself is a commendable achievement. If they can at least get themselves out of the group, that is a fairly, that's a good account. That is, showing signs of kind of, improving and getting better and better and better really. So, definitely for me, France 100% are an absolute cert to go into the knockout stages. Denmark, I think they will. I think they will. Again, could be quite an interesting proposition and story as to who's going to join France, whether it is Denmark or Australia or Peru, maybe the surprise package, who knows. But I'm going to go with Denmark and France for Group C. In Group D then, we have Argentina, Croatia, Iceland and Nigeria. Now, Group D, Argentina, who were the runners-up to the World Cup in 2014. Again, they've got Lionel Messi, Messi, Aguero, Dybala. They've got such an incredible, forward front line that they should easily, get through Group D as group winners. I'm back in Iceland as well, and it pains me to say it because of what Iceland did to us in Euro 2016, but Iceland are a good side, and they've already shown that on the world stage in playing in a big international tournament that they can divine the odds, and they can spur themselves and achieve something absolutely amazing, should they be able to get out of the group. So for me, I believe that Iceland will join Argentina, and again, don't be shocked or fooled or even surprised if you see that Iceland will go all of the way, and not all the way in terms of winning the competition, but go into the quarter-final stage or maybe even a semi-final. It wouldn't surprise me and it wouldn't shock me either. I think that the coattails that they're living off from what they did at Euro 2016, obviously once they got past England and that was a big shock, they obviously, fell flat towards the later rounds, but still, I wouldn't put it past them. Iceland have got a team of strength, of power, and most importantly, and the most crucial thing that you need in a World Cup tournament is determination. They've got buckets of that. So, Argentina to go for as group winners of Group D, Iceland to join them as runners-up, and unfortunately for Croatia and Nigeria, their World Cup dream will end at the group stage. So that's Group D. Then we've got Group E. Now we've got in Group E, Brazil, Costa Rica, Serbia, and Switzerland. Now, Brazil obviously hosted the World Cup in 2014, got as far as the semi-finals, got absolutely ripped apart by Germany by 7-1, and they're still getting over that, and that won't be forgotten anytime soon. The fact that they got absolutely humiliated by a German side in the World Cup on their own, on their own patch, on their home turf, hosting the tournament and getting absolutely ripped apart by hosting the tournament. It wasn't great, but they have got a fabulous side. Obviously you've got Neymar, and Neymar again very much in that kind of Suarez, Ronaldo, Messi category that can win you a game on his own basically. But obviously Brazil have got kind of Willian and out on the right hand side. You've got Neymar, you've got Willian, you've got now Gabriel Jesus, who has showed and done absolutely wonders at Manchester City. You've not only got that, but you've also got David Luiz at the back. And, they've got kind of so many great defenders and stalwarts. You've also, you've got the likes of Edison in goal now, who also is doing really, really well at Manchester City. And to me, I think the big problem that Brazil had in the 2014 World Cup is that they just couldn't defend. And, they could outscore, oppositions, and they could cause problems, but once it came to their defence, their defensive frailties kind of came to the forefront. And when it came to Germany, a side that knew exactly how to brush teams aside, it got too much to them. One of the big things is that I don't ever think Brazil had a particularly decent goalkeeper, in my opinion, and Edison could do just that. Edison for me is that type of goalkeeper that will in the big moments hit, overcome. Manchester City's big problem had been that they had an absolutely horrendous goalkeeper. They brought in Edison and they went back to winning the Premier League title. And maybe Edison might be the secret ingredient that Brazil just need to really kind of take the next steps to going even further this time around. It's going to be very interesting to see how they respond. And I think joining Brazil, I think obviously Brazil will go through as group winners, but Costa Rica, who had they had almost a fairy tale in the 2014 World Cup, quarter-finalists of the 2014 World Cup. Nobody expected that. And I can see them doing, really well again. I think they come out of the group with Brazil. I can't see Serbia or Switzerland, getting out of the group. But, as for Costa Rica, very much like Iceland, keep your eyes on Costa Rica, because I think they can do bits, and they can really cause major problems, and they can defy expectations. They've done it once before, and if you can do it before, you can easily do it again, really. So Brazil, Costa Rica to go through in Group E. In Group F, we have Germany, South Korea, Mexico and Sweden. Now, Germany obviously won the last World Cup in 2014, in Brazil, and they were absolutely amazing. Özil, Toni Kroos, Thomas Müller. They've got brick walls at the back. Maybe not. I'll say Mustafi, but obviously he's a World Cup winner. Obviously they had Mertesacker retired from international football. But I think Germany will do well, and I think they will go a long way. You're going to be seeing in my second half of my predictions who I feel is going to win the World Cup, and Germany is certainly up there. If I give you a sneak peek as to who I think is going to go all the way. However, I don't think this German side are as good as what they were in 2014. They're an aging team. They've got the legends of that German national team are aging, are coming towards the end of their careers. In 2014, half of that squad were kind of in their peak. They were at the best possible moment that they could possibly get to, and they couldn't get any better really, and everything just clicked into place, and they kind of they scraped through the group stages, even though they won their group, but nobody really was talking about them. Nobody really kind of was looking too much into them, and then when we got to the knockout stages, they stepped up the gears and they kind of went from strength to strength really. So it wouldn't surprise me if Germany will always be up there. They're a fabulous squad. They've got a brilliant manager and they play some great, exquisitely brilliant football. But I will say that they aren't going to be as good as what they were in 2014, and I don't think they're going to do as well as they did 4 years ago, really. I think you're going to see a different German side, but they are certainly going to be right up there, and they're obviously going to be able to cause anyone real major problems if they kind of just put themselves into half gear. If Germany put themselves into full gear and their opposition side are not really up for it, then, good luck to them, really, because Germany will absolutely destroy anybody in their wake should they play to the best of their ability. And joining Germany in Group F to go through to the knockout stages is Sweden. Now, I think Sweden are a decent side. Obviously, Zlatan Ibrahimovic was one of the big points for them. But I think they've got enough capabilities to get out of the group. I don't think they're going to really trouble or cause any major problems or write any kind of major headlines. I think they'd join Germany and get out of Group F and probably exit out of the last 16 quarterfinals at a big push. But if they get to the quarterfinals or even semi-finals, what a great kind of World Cup tournament they have. Nobody expects Sweden to do well, and everyone in Group F apart from Germany, nobody's really looking at. You could maybe argue Mexico maybe, but again, nobody really expects them to do greatness. So yeah, Germany to go for his group winners, and I'm back in Sweden. It was a toss up either between Sweden or Mexico, and in the end, I kind of went with Sweden really. On to Group G. So Group G is obviously England's group, the nation that I will be supporting all the way through this World Cup tournament. Joining England in Group G is Belgium, Panama, and Tunisia. Now, England are definitely, in my opinion, going to get out of the group. We didn't get out of the group 4 years ago. Obviously, I was looking to do examining England, giving my thoughts and feelings to the game against Nigeria, which we won yesterday, and won by 2-1. I only catch the highlights. I was so busy yesterday sorting out other stuff. And basically, in the first half, we played very, very well, and then kind of Nigeria, changed their formation. They matched us, and then kind of caused us problems in the second half. But in the end, we kind of got over the line and got ourselves a good win in our World Cup warm-up games. Obviously, we played Costa Rica before our World Cup encounter start. And we look ready, we look sharp, we look strong. Obviously, my big worry with England is that if the going gets tough, have they got that plan B? It feels like, and particularly yesterday, first half we played so well. We had the plan A, and plan A was working effectively. And then Nigeria kind of shaped up and kind of, matched us. And with that matchment, then England didn't have a plan B, so the game kind of changed. And obviously Nigeria got a goal back, and it kind of changed the entire complexion of the game. And that's what worries me. England never really, when things are going bad, they never look like they can rectify it, and it always goes horribly wrong. I think we're going to be Panama and Tunisia very, very comfortably. That Belgium game is going to be very, very, interesting. I really don't know whether England are going to go through as group winners or go through as second. I'd say that probably Belgium are going to go through as group winners. I mean, Belgium have got a fabulous squad. Kevin De Bruyne, Fellaini, Hazard. It's just, the list goes on and on and on. And under Roberto Martinez and Thierry Henry, they are a very, very good unit. And I'm very scared. What is Kevin De Bruyne, Hazard, Lukaku? What the hell are they going to do to us? And England are not really known for their great defending works and our high defensive line. We're fairly good at going forward, but it's kind of the back end, we kind of do concede goals from time to time, and we've got a very youthful squad at our disposal. So that is very, very problematic. However, I do think we're kind of going to get out of our group. I'll let you know in a moment where I think England are going to finish. But England and Belgium to go and get out of Group G fairly comfortably. And finally, Group H, we've got Colombia, Japan, Poland and Senegal, the final group. Now, Colombia did very well in the 2014 World Cup. It kind of was the stage of the 2014 World Cup was the stage which saw James Rodriguez break into the limelight, got his move from AS Monaco to Real Madrid, and obviously he's now on loan at Bayern Munich. And Colombia are a very, very good squad. They had Rodriguez, Falcao, Cuadrado, Luis Muriel, Carlos Bacca. They've got a very, very good, strong, solid squad. And I think they get out of Group H. Whether they go through as group winners, because I think Poland as well, with obviously they've got Roman Lewandowski up front leading the line. He can score buckets of goals at any given moment. So I think Japan won't have enough. Neither will Senegal. So Colombia and Poland to get out of Group H. Whether they will do well in kind of the knockout stages and how far that either Colombia or Poland go. I mean, Colombia got to a quarter-final and they fell to a defeat to Brazil. But if they can do that again, it will be a very, very good tournament for them. And as for Poland, quarter-finalists, semi-finalists, that's a push maybe. But it's going to be very, very interesting. So those are my kind of predictions. So the 16 teams for me that I think are going to progress into the knockout stage of the World Cup are as follows. So Egypt, Uruguay, Portugal, Spain, Denmark, France, Argentina, Iceland, Brazil, Costa Rica, Germany, Sweden, Belgium, France, and Colombia and Poland. So those are the 16 teams that I think are going to go through to the knockout stages. Now, let me give you my predictions as to who I think is going to finish third, second, and first. So, in third place, I think Belgium will finish third place. I think it will be. I know who the final. I think I know who the final is going to be. But I think Belgium, if they come up against, Argentina, Portugal, who else could they potentially come up against? Spain, maybe, Colombia. But whoever Belgium come up against in the semi-finals, they are definitely going to fall into that third place category. So, third place is respectful. I think they've got a fantastic attacking line. I just think defensively they're a little bit weak. I think, obviously Vincent Kompany's coming to the end of his tether. They've got some fantastic defenders. But I just think that even though going forward they will score buckets of goals, they just don't have enough capabilities at the back to really get them and push them into that final and lifting that trophy, and they still don't have that experience. I still feel that they're very inexperienced, this Belgium side. They've got great talent and they've got some really experienced talent, but they've got an overall rawness that they just need to work on the little tiny bits here and there in order to perplex themselves and get and lift that World Cup trophy. Incidentally, maybe in 2022, maybe if they can build and get some more promising players and kind of keep Roberto Martinez and Thierry Henry on the management side, then they can push into that final. But I think third place is a very respectful and a very amazing position to finish should Belgium get there. So that's why I say is going to finish in third place. The final of the World Cup 2018, I think, is going to be between Germany and France, and I'm going to say that in second place I believe Germany will finish, so runners up of the 2018 World Cup. So yes, I'm saying France are going to win the 2018 World Cup. Why do I think France are going to win the 2018 World Cup? Well, Benzema, Giroud, Lacazette, Griezmann, 4 strikers they've got. Martial on the left, Fekir on the right. Pogba, Kante, Varane. They've got so many, and there's other players obviously, and they've got a fantastic squad. And not only, you know, they've got a brilliant goalkeeper in Hugo Lloris, right, but they've got, you know, they've got a compact defence, a world-class goalkeeper, two completely different guys in midfield. Pogba, who can, you know, kickstart attacks. Kante, who will be the anchor that will sit there, and he's the best of the best. He's the best in the business of doing that. And then going forward, they've got such a prominent and prosperous attack. You know, Lacazette, Griezmann, Giroud, Benzema. You know, that's just 4 strikers, and there's even more out there. You know, and what's been really disappointing is that France, like in Euro 2016, they got so far, and then they just fell down at the final hurdle. And in the World Cup 2014, you know, it was the same kind of, you know, feeling really. They get so close, but yet so far. And, you know, France have always been up there in terms of big, you know, top tournaments. And I definitely think, you know, as I said, Germany, I don't think will be as good as what they were in 2014. But with the experience and with the quality that they've got, I do think they will make the final. I don't think they're going to win the final. And that's why I said I don't think they're going to do as well as they did in 2014. I think it will be a Germany-France World Cup final. And France will get the better of Germany. I think it'll be quite a comfortable World Cup win, should that be at the end. So, you know, many people, you know, you could say, you know, Germany, I don't know, Spain, you know, Argentina, Portugal, Uruguay, potentially maybe. But France, when the World Cup kind of is edging closer and closer, and you ask that question in your head, you go down the pub, you sit down with someone, you have a pint with them, and you say, who do you think is going to, you know, win the World Cup? I think a lot of people will say France. So, in my opinion, I think France are going to finish in first place, Germany in second place, and Belgium in third place. England, where are England going to finish? I'm going to go quarter-final exit. And I think if England can get to the quarter-finals, that'll be a I think that'll be quite decent, really. Obviously, I love England to win the World Cup, and if I had a team that I want to win the World Cup, it's obviously England. You know, we haven't done that since 1966. But we ain't going to win the World Cup. There are so many better teams than us, you know. You've got, you've got Portugal, Argentina, France, Germany, Belgium. That's already 5 teams that are better than us. You know, Brazil. You know, you've got so many teams that are better. And, like, going forward, England can get going. You know, we've got Harry Kane who can score buckets of goals. We've got Dele Alli, Jamie Vardy, Marcus Rashford. And we've got a lot of prosperous and great attacking players, right? And we've got that youthfulness. So we're not going to be necessarily frightened because we've got that youthfulness in us. You know, and it is a very, very young squad. We've got Gareth Southgate who knows how to get the best out of our young players. And we do look good. In the warm-up games, we do look like we're ready for this World Cup tournament. But I just don't think we've got we haven't got enough experience to take us all the way in defensively. We're just not good enough. We're not good enough to get past, you know, your Germanys, your Portugals, your Argentinas, your France. You know, we haven't got that in our locker. And because of that, because we haven't got that in our locker, it just makes me feel like that England will get out of the group. I mean, we should get out of the group. The minimum is to get out of the group and at least get past one of the knockout stages. You know, a semi-final would be exceptional, right? But if we get to a quarter-final, it's commendable. Anything below a quarter-final, in my eyes, is another failure. And we've had so many, I mean, you know, the World Cup in 2010 and 2014 and Euro 2012 and 2016, respectively, have all been way below par and have been absolutely shocking. And, you know, and it's time for England to step up and make a statement, you know, make a stand. I said it in a video that I did ages ago, that I feel like if England can get the right formation, stick to that formation, find their best 11, we've got enough in our squad to really cause any other team in the World Cup any kind of major problems, really. But it's whether we have that self-belief and also that confidence and also having the experience to get the job done, really. So England to finish in the quarterfinals, you know, and be knocked out in a quarterfinal, I think again is a very commendable place to finish. And the surprise team for me, I believe, will be Costa Rica again. I mean, Costa Rica, like I said, just like what they did in the World Cup in 2014, I think they can do that again, really. And I've spoke about why I think Costa Rica can do it. If they've done it once, they've shown what they can do before, they can easily do it again. And finally, the top goal scorer, who I think is going to win the Golden Ball, you know, Lionel Messi maybe, Cristiano Ronaldo, Luis Suarez, Romelu Lukaku, you know, Karim Benzema, Griezmann, who knows? But no, I'm saying Kevin De Bruyne. I think because not only do I think Belgium will finish in third, but I think he's going to get an absolute shitload of goals. I think he will make that Belgium team tick. You know, and you stop Kevin De Bruyne, you stop Belgium, really. but I don't think anyone is going to be able to do that. I think they're going to go all of the way. And I think he's going to be right up there for the Golden Ball. And obviously, you know, you would say that probably Ronaldo and Messi are up there and the usual candidates and suspect. You would say that if I'm saying that France are going to go on to win the World Cup, it might be someone from France. Pogba, Griezmann, Lacazette, maybe even Olivier Giroud. You know, and I think Giroud's going to do absolute bits for France in the World Cup, you know, and everyone loves Giroud, and he is their number one striker, really. You know, France really do like having him up front. He normally always starts. But no, I'm going to go Kevin De Bruyne up for the Golden Ball. So those are all my World Cup 2018 predictions. Let me know your predictions down in the comment section below. I'm also going to put it out on my Twitter. You can go and vote on my Twitter at DJBagpuss1998. And I've got a lot of other World Cup content coming your way. I'm going to be doing examining England match previews and match reviews of all of England's World Cup games, and giving match previews and match reviews of the FA Cup, not the FA Cup, of the World Cup competition as well. So I'm going to be previewing and reviewing kind of quarter-final games, semi-final games, looking back at the group stages, and also right at the end giving my match preview and match review of the World Cup 2018 final and the whole competition as well. So lots of World Cup content coming up on your channel so let me just do that again, because I've been talking for a long period of time. Lots of World Cup content coming your way, so stay tuned on this channel. And obviously I'm going to be doing all my other stuff, kind of Throwback Thursday, DJ Bagpuss Show, DJ Bagpuss Music Moments. Lots of great content in your way, so I'm working on a variety of projects at this minute. So please make sure to leave a like on this video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and check out my great content as well. And until next time, this is DJ Bagpuss signing out. Take care, and I shall see you all later. Take care, and I shall see you all very, very, very soon.